Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Asim. I'm working as DevOps engineer. This is the second part of our AWS CI/CD and AD. Um, we are actually doing the stuff with regard to the microservices, continuous integration, continuous deployment, and automated deployment. With regard to the automated deployment, we are going to use the Terraform, and for that I have already made repository for you guys, and what you have to do is to simply navigate to my GitHub repository, navigate to the Terraform version 13, and from here simply download this Terraform version 13 repository. So for the saving of time, what I've done, I've already cloned this repository, and you can clone this repository and put it on your desktop. From here simply um, copy paste and put it this repository Spring Boot app on your desktop. So I'm going to put this on my desktop, and what I will be doing that I will open one shell here, fresh shell, and I will be showing that what we have to do. Okay, navigate to this repository. Okay, to ls, to navigate to environment, and navigate to the. Okay, I will do Terraform init, as we are using the latest version of Terraform 13 for this demo. What it does that it will download these modules. For till then, what I'm going to do is to open this repository in my VS Code. Okay, so let me open VS Code for you guys, that I will be showing that what we are going to do with regard to the automated deployment of our application. So as far as the automated deployment of our application, we are going to use Terraform only once, which means that we are going to deploy our application, and then in my later videos, which is going to be in the part 3 probably, in that I will show you that we are going to do the version upgrade with the CI/CD process, and we are going to use the AWS pipeline, code pipeline for that. So as far as the first deployment of our Spring Boot microservice application, we are going to use the Terraform version 13 code. Everything is there for you guys. So if you navigate to the modules section, every module is there, but you have to navigate to environment, go navigate to the main TF, and open the TF bars. So here I have defined the container name, that how much CPU, how much memory it is going to utilize. Container definition is that this is the task definition, and container definition is the nested, uh, you can say, nested definition with regard to the container. So task definition is on top of that. In task definition, we can define multiple containers with regard to our deployment. So anyway, this is the container definition, and the container name is going to be the same as our task definition. So what I'm going to do is to update this repository URI, and with regard to that, I need to update you that I will update this repository after I complete my deployment process to the ECR, and this name is the one which is not actually there. You have to update your ECR. You have to push your image to the AWS ECR and update this repository. So what I'm going to do is to show you guys that I will be clearing this, okay, and we will be building our image not with the AWS code build as traditionally people do with the AWS code build, but what we are going to do in this lab, we are going to use the third party, and this third party is going to be the Bitbucket, or in your case might be GitHub Actions or GitLab or maybe Bitbucket. So as the latest release, AWS now lease AWS code build for your local infra as well, which means you can use code build on your laptops or on your local infra as well. But we are going to use AWS. We are going to use the Bitbucket for our development of images. So uh, in my first video that I've already showed you that we have covered some steps. If you haven't watched that particular video, please go and watch that video. So now what I'm going to do is to navigate to the repository. So what you have to do is to create a one repository on your Bitbucket account. Bitbucket give you about 50 minutes free every month with regard to the testing of your pipelines. So I've already created this repository. This is the public repositories. You can download this repository and put your code, all this code which is available in this repository, and put this code on your repository. So you will be able to understand that what we are going to do. So this is the repository where I've put my Spring Boot application, and in that particular Spring Boot application, um, this is the Docker file I will be showing you in this video, and also the target. So locally what I've done that I've already compiled my jar file and put it in my target section, and also I've updated this Docker file. And these are the rest of the files which are the requirement of the Bitbucket for the build process. As I told you that we are going to use Bit bucket for our development of images, and we are going, after these Docker images are built, we are going to push these images automatically to our uh, AWS ECR, which is the Elastic Container Registry, which is the private registry, and we are going to deploy rest of our stuff with regard to the CI/CD process from AWS. So this is the basic Bitbucket pipeline where we will be building our image, and it is going to push that particular image to the AWS ECL. So with regard to the detail of that image name is the repository name which I have created in the AWS ECR. Let me show you that well. So you have to put image name as a repository name. So this is the image name tag. I gave this tag. You can give any tag up to whichever you like. Just for the sample demo, I'm calling this Cloud Geeks Spring Boot FB1. So rest of the settings you have to do is to provide the AWS access keys and secret access key. Region I'm using the US East 1, and image tag is going to be, it is going to pick up from here. Okay, so these you have to simply copy paste these settings. As far as the access keys and secret access keys, I'm going to show you that what you have to do is to simply navigate to the repository settings. Okay, if you scroll down, you will see pipelines here, and navigate to the repository variables. So I've already provided this repository my AWS access keys and secret access keys, but these are not updated. So what you have to do is to create these two variables. I've already logged this or secured these environment variables. So make sure you do that as well. I mean, your access keys and secret access keys should be secure, and make sure that you should only provide this Bitbucket repository access to ECR only. You should not give this administrative privileges uh, that it should be able to all the stuff. So what you have to do, I'm not going to show you all the stuff, but I'm going to just explaining you what you have to do is to create one service user with regard to the Bitbucket, which, and you have to simply attach that particular policy, which is going to be the ECR access to that particular user, and download those particular access keys and secret access key. Only attach that particular policies to that particular user and put those access keys and secret keys here. So what I'm going to update these. Till then, I'm going to pause the video and I will be back with you guys in a moment. So guys, what I've done that I've updated my access keys and secret access keys. Might be there is a typo or anything else. I will show you that in case of failure of our pipeline, you just don't be disheartened. I mean, just try to see the logs, what went wrong, and try to use the same stuff which I've provided you guys uh, in this demo. So what I'm going to do. As I told you that I'm already logged in as a user, so you can use your free you can create a free account on Bitbucket and use that. I've already tested these repositories, so these are the previous successes and failures. So what I'm going to do is to run this pipeline. What this pipeline do, as I told you, that it is going to build our Docker image and it is going to push that particular image on where on AWS ECR. So as I told you, currently I don't have any image here. So if everything goes well, what it is going to do is it is going to let me close the other tabs as well, so you will be able to understand the process. So now we are going to build this manually. So I have to show you every step that you should be able to see that what is going to be happen and our build is going to be successful. So it is going to show you all the steps with regard to the um, Docker build where we are building our Docker image, and it is going to automatically deploy that particular image if the build is successful to this ECR repository. Currently there is no image, so these are the steps it is going to follow. And as I told you, the it is what it is currently doing, that it is deploying my AWS ECS CHD sample v1 app. It is reading the build spec YAML file as I told you by default. Um, you can change that as well, but I'm using that default file which Bitbucket is going to read. So all the steps it is currently doing, it is in front of us. It is pulling those images. It is going to build the Docker image from the jar file, and then it is going to push that to the AWS ECR. As far as the jar is concerned, I just told you that I've already tested that particular jar on my local machine or desktop, or I've made that particular jar through the Docker. And for that, if you haven't watched my previous videos, how the process I have done in my past video, so you can watch my previous videos with regard to the Spring Boot application compilation of uh, your jar and build of your Docker images manually. If you see the manual stuff, this automated stuff is going to be a lot more easier for you guys. So as I told you that I've provided the access keys and secret access keys, and this repository has now privileges, so it is now able to successfully build that particular image, and it is able to push this image to here. If I simply refresh it, you will see one image is going to be available here, and it is our Spring Boot application v1. So what I'm going to do is to simply copy this URI. This is the requirement, and I'm going to simply update this here. So this is the image it is going to use for the deployment. So what I'm going to do is to simply navigate to my section of the Terraform. All the modules are now downloaded. I'm going to use the Terraform apply command. So what it is going to do, as I told you the first time, we are going to do the automated deployment of our application. And in automated deployment of our application, it is going to create a custom VPC. It is going to create a custom ECS and everything. Um, lot of stuff it is going to create, but definitely I'm not going to show you that because I've already created lot more videos in past with regard to that. So you have to watch those videos what we have done in past, so you will be able to understand this video. So I'm going to say yes. So automated deployment with Terraform version 13 has begun, and I will show you the version as well, what version we are using. So anyway, um, uh, if I navigate to the AWS section, let me close the other stuff or just make it aside. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to simply show you what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the Elastic Container Service ECS that we are going to use the Fargate, and I'm going to open this EC2 section. Although it is going to also set up one EC2 instance, which I've already covered, that we have done the load testing with the EC2 instance, but this which where we have used auto scaling. So we have already covered that particular video. But what I'm going to do as I'm going to show you that we are currently working on load balancer and target group um, with regard to the automated deployment of our application. So this part is with regard to the automated deployment of our application, and in the next part I will show you the CI/CD process. So this is the application load balancer is currently provisioning, and if I navigate to the targets, it is going to create two target groups. Uh, One is the default, and we are going to use this target Cloud Geeks service Spring Boot target group. And if I navigate to the targets, you will see definitely two targets are going to be registered with regard to our Spring Boot application. So if I navigate to the cluster section, so click on the cluster, you will see shortly that one cluster is going to be available here. Let me We have to wait for a while because there are dependencies in Terraform code. I've done that. Once the application load balancer is going to be available, active, it is provisioning, then our cluster is going to be created. So we have to wait for a while. It will not take too much. So let it finished. Okay. It will take about 5 minutes as far as the application load balancer is concerned. It will be active in 4 to 5 minutes. So also let me show you the task definitions that you will see. One task definition is going to be updated. So this is the Cloud Geeks Spring Boot task definition, and in that we have Cloud Geeks Spring Boot uh, version 1, and in that we have a container with the same name, Spring Boot Cloud Geeks Spring Boot container. So we have defined the specs what we need. The host port of the container is going to be 8080, and the rest of the settings are there. So as far as the cluster is concerned, simply refresh it. Okay, refresh from the browser. Make sure that load balancer is active, so our cluster is going to be available soon. So I will be refreshing this. So you see our cluster is now available. Cloud Geeks ECS left clusters, so containers inside is available. So I've also covered this in my previous video. So our one application is now active. So desired state is 3, but the running is 0, and it is going to trigger that particular task definition. In that task definition, we define what container it is going to use. So sooner it is you will see these three are going to be in running state, and once those are in running state, and those containers are going to be available in our target group section. So if I navigate to the group details, this is the health check path. So these are all the setting automatically will be available for you through the Terraform code, and it gives you a lot more understanding as far as the deployment of your Spring Boot microservice application, that how you can do the automated deployment of your application. So you have to wait for a while. You see three running tasks are now available, and you will see the registration are now begin. One is already healthy, and the two are now in the initialization steps, in the initialization part. Okay, so everything is healthy. What I'm going to do is to simply copy the DNS name of this, and if I press enter, you will see Spring Boot application is running. I have to give the I have to give the path shared. So it is just the demo application I've created. So in this automated deployment, we have done the deployment, and it is going to launch our Spring Boot application, and it is the cloud week shirts. So everything is deployed automatically. So if you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe, and wait for the next part. And please like the video and share the videos as much as you can. And also watch the next part. And in the next part, we will be covering the CI/CD process of our microservice architecture Spring Boot application. Thank you.